this is Monty Reed. I wanted to talk to you about Nutrilock and why Thrive is so much better than other foods out there. Now, I spent some time in childhood on a farm in Montana. It was mostly just summers, but we had a farm with fresh eggs from the hen house. You go out and get the eggs there, and fresh milk from the neighbor's cow. And I remember how amazing the food tasted back then because it was picked when it was ripe. I also remember that some of the farmers would harvest crops early if it was going to be boxed up, trucked, shipped, sent by freight rail, is stored in warehouses, because if you picked them ripe, then it wouldn't make it to market. So you had to pick it early. And I remember that the food just had such an amazing flavor, and that's the thing that came back to me the first time I tasted Thrive food. I remember putting the corn in my mouth and was like, wow, it just brought me back to childhood, that amazing fresh picked flavor. And you know, with the yogurt and the pineapple and the chicken salad, and now we've got pulled pork and all kinds of amazing foods that are just fresh and delicious. So Nutrilock is a 40-step process that we go through to ensure that the Thrive food is the Thrive difference, that you will have that mealtime experience, that the food qualifies for a food revolution, because we are in the food revolution, and the Thrive Foods is that mealtime experience that you've been looking for. And in order for us to freeze dry the food and bring it to your table and have it taste delicious, we need to make sure that we keep track of every step of this process. It's 40 steps from the farm to the can, or from the farm to the table. And those 40 steps involve us, first of all, finding farms out there that are already doing natural farming practices. So we send investigators out to find the farms. And as we grow, you know, eventually the company's going to get up over 500 million. Eventually we're going to hit $1 billion. Then we'll be up over 100 billion, 500 billion, $1 trillion. You know, the food industry is $4 trillion. So we have a long ways to go. The beautiful thing is the writing's on the wall, and a lot of farmers have already adopted new, healthy, natural farming practices. So that's the first step, is find a farm that has natural farming practices. We prefer to work with family farms that have been doing the farming for generations, and so they know how to do it, and they know how to do it right. We prefer farms that are using natural fertilizer. You know, really, the natural fertilizer, it's manure and it stinks. But I remember my uncle told me that's a smell of money when I was a little kid. It's like, oh, I didn't like that. I told him, my eyes are burning, I'm going back inside. And anyway, that manure is used to fertilize, and that's naturally how they get the food to taste so good. So, but Nutrilock's a 40-step process. A lot of them are proprietary, it's top secret. We don't tell people some of the steps, but it includes a guy who's our research guy. I got to meet him at convention, and he's so excited. He was telling me about 10 years at this other company that the last few years they were cutting corners, and how much happier he is working at Thrive, where they say, sky's the limit. Make sure the food is quality, make sure it's pure, make sure it is the best. And so he's really our research guy. He tests everything that comes in and tests everything that goes out before it goes into the can. Guy is our guy who tastes it. So he's part of that 40-step process. And it's 40 steps to make sure that the food is healthy and nutritious and it tastes great. And of course, there's a process to make sure that once it's freeze-dried and in the can, that when you open it, you're going to be able to cook with it. And part of that process is having Chef Todd actually cook with it and make sure that it refreshes properly when you add water to it and comes back to life and it has that flavor. And then of course, what kind of recipes, you know, you make sure that it's the proper size piece. You know, before we had our own freeze dryer, sometimes we had a little challenge getting the size and shape of the pieces we want. But now that we have our own freeze dryer, we have the most sophisticated freeze dryer in the world, and on our facility we can cut and chop any size or shape that we want. And I mean, I'm so excited. And nobody's announced it yet, but I'm so excited that the Thrive broccoli and cauliflower florets are so huge. And at the same time, I kind of miss the little ones. And the beautiful thing is, as our company grows, there'll be a demand for large floret broccoli and small floret broccoli, because I love the small floret broccoli for soups and things. And anyway, it's just it's really awesome that as we have a demand and as it grows, you're just going to be able to get more products by adding large and small. And I envision thin sliced and long sliced and thick sliced and all of these other things that are come along. But the key thing is Nutrilock is different than organic. And I mean, I did 28 years in biomedical research, so I can tell you that the term organic, as far as food goes, I got a problem with it from the get-go. And if you don't understand, ask a chemist. Ask your kid's chemistry teacher, is gasoline organic? And they'll tell you, yes, it is, because the food term organic is actually a hijack from scientific terms, and it's marketing. And really, with the USDA, if you go to their website, you'll find that organic, to be certified organic, you do have to pay extra money, and you have to be inspected, and you're allowed a percentage of non-organic compounds and ingredients. Over 10% can be non-organic and still be certified organic. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. With Thrive Foods, when we take the water out, it's considered concentrate. And concentrate has to be pure, 100% pure. So when we do a process of corn, you can take a sample of corn, put it in the analyzer, and if there's anything in there that's not corn, we reject the whole load. And so that's the beautiful thing about the Thrive Nutrilock 40-step process. You can be assured that the food is healthy, nutritious, and it's 40 steps from the farm to the can to your table. This is Monty Reed. Have a great day. Keep thriving, my friends.